mynews.studio.
Picture Norway's fjords, electric ferries moving quietly past oil rigs. It raises the question, can a country really grow more prosperous while also reducing pollution?
Today's date is 2025-12-13. Let's set the stage. For years, people assumed that more economic growth always meant higher carbon emissions. But now, the data shows that connection is starting to weaken. So, what's actually changed?
Right, that's an important shift. The Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit just analyzed new numbers and found that more countries, Norway, Switzerland, the UK, and even some emerging economies, are growing their economies while actually cutting carbon emissions. The term for this is decoupling. It challenges the old idea that fighting climate change means losing jobs or slowing growth.
Let's dig into Norway as an example. What did they do that set them apart?
Norway made clean energy a priority. Almost all their electricity now comes from hydropower. They also pushed hard to electrify transport, which is why you see so many electric cars and now even ferries. The government backed this up with financial incentives, a strong charging network, and even buying electric vehicles for public use.
And Switzerland, did they follow a similar path, or was it different?
A bit different. Switzerland focused on making things more efficient. Think tough building codes, support for heat pumps, and strict standards for appliances. They also encouraged innovation in clean technology, which helped companies use less energy. Plus, their economy has shifted more towards services, which usually means less carbon than manufacturing.
Now, people talk about the UK as a kind of model. What did they do?
The UK almost completely phased out coal. Instead, they invested heavily in offshore wind. Today, wind produces more electricity than coal ever did. They also put a price on carbon, so polluters have to pay. Since 1990, emissions have dropped by half, but the economy kept growing.
Emerging economies don't always get much attention in this conversation. Take Brazil. What's been changing there?
Brazil faced big challenges with deforestation and fossil fuels. But lately, some of those trends have started to reverse. There's been a surge in wind and solar projects. And there's a major effort to cut back on deforestation in the Amazon, which is crucial, since those forests absorb a lot of carbon.
The report also mentions China. For the past year and a half, their emissions haven't increased. Is this a real turning point?
It might be. China's economy has slowed, which matters, but they've also massively increased solar and wind power and boosted electric vehicle production. Heavy industry isn't as dominant as before. The question is whether this is just a pause or if emissions will actually start to fall for good.
Is it realistic for larger, more fossil fuel-dependent economies to follow these examples?
It's tough. Many economies still rely heavily on coal, oil, and gas, not just for energy, but for jobs and government revenue. And in countries where energy demand is growing quickly, it's much harder to cut emissions, even if clean tech is available.
So what are the main obstacles?
The structure of the economy matters a lot. If you depend on mining or fossil fuels, change is difficult. There's also pushback from industries that have a lot to lose. Plus, some countries just don't have the same natural resources, like Norway's hydropower or the UK's access to wind.
What actually helps countries break through those barriers?
International climate finance is really important. It allows poorer countries to afford cleaner technology. Sharing technology helps too, so successful solutions don't stay locked in one place. And changing trade rules can make it easier for countries to choose clean energy without facing penalties.
Some people say decoupling isn't happening fast enough, or maybe not at all. They mention things like imported emissions and rebound effects. Are those real problems?
They are. Sometimes, a country will cut emissions at home, but import more products from abroad, shifting the pollution elsewhere. And if efficiency improvements make energy cheaper, people may just end up using more. So, for decoupling to really matter, it has to be deep and global, not just in one place.
Given all this, what should policymakers focus on now?
Scale up clean energy, set a real price on carbon, phase out fossil fuel subsidies, and make sure workers have support as industries change. It's not just about technology, it has to be fair too.
And businesses, what's their role?
Businesses can boost efficiency, set climate goals that are grounded in science, and clean up their supply chains. Both consumers and investors are paying closer attention now.
How about individuals? Does it really make a difference what we do?
Yes, it does. People can vote and speak up for stronger climate policies, pick low-carbon options in daily life, and support companies or cities leading the way.
So, in summary, the idea that economic growth and pollution always go together is being challenged. Some countries are showing it's possible to have one without the other, though it's not easy.
The real test now is whether the rest of the world can catch up and do it quickly enough to limit climate change's worst impacts.
Thanks for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Give it a try for free